Hi, welcome to You, Me and Mediumship, and tonight's little talk is going to be about the mechanics of mediumship, how it works, the energies that we work with, how they blend with us, and how we hear, see, spirit. So I think it's important that we understand the mechanics, because obviously we need to know what's happening, and obviously all that can do, I guess, is enhance our mediumistic ability by having a good understanding of how that method works. So obviously when we pass, the energy, the soul, if you like, that's within us leaves the body and becomes part of that energy, the source, if you like, of everything that we see around us. So as we blend with that, we still keep that individuality, we still keep, obviously, memory, we're just not part of the body anymore. So as mediums, obviously we are trying to connect with that energy of an individual that is now without body, that is now part of that source. And to do that, obviously, we need to raise our vibration to the level at which we can attune ourselves to that energy. So it's important that we learn how to do that. And this is where we get the little mix-up sometimes for meditation, sitting in the power, obviously, because, you know, as meditation, we tend to slow down our vibration and go within, whereas with sitting in the power, it's important that we raise our vibration. It's important that we push outwardly to try and connect with the world of spirit. So, you know, it's just to put things straight, I guess, you know, it's important that we understand, which I've kind of covered a bit in another video, the difference between that meditation and sitting in the power. So as we blend while sitting in the power, it's important, I feel, that what we do is we give permission for that blending to happen, because it's important that both yourself and spirit feel at ease with one another. So as you ask for that blending to happen, as you ask for spirit to come forward, blend with your energy, it's kind of giving the, oh, look, this is okay, this is fine, please draw closer to me, let me see, let me hear, let me feel your presence. So it's important that, in a sense, we give permission, if you like. And that can be done through prayer, and it can just simply be done through thought. So it's important, like I said, to give that permission. So whilst we're sitting in the power, if you like, and we're sitting in a kind of higher frequency, and we are pushing outwardly, that energy that you are pushing out, that could be as simple as light energy, as you imagine that light being filled within yourself and then pushed outward. That is the energy that spirit will sense, that they will see, and they will blend with. So it's important that we learn to be able to put ourselves out there, if you like. So what we're doing is giving a sign to spirit, your energy, putting your energy out there in order for them to see, to understand that you're there and you want to work with them. So as we start to blend energies with the spirit world, then obviously our senses will start to pick up on that vibration. Now, speech is not speech, obviously, in the world of mediumship. So basically, we do not hear speech as we would hear it through our normal ears. We sense speech, we sense it. So even though it is sometimes it's sensed as like a whisper, then it is a sense of a whisper, not an actual whisper as somebody might whisper to you whilst in the material body. So we need to understand that we're not, you know, sometimes it can be frustrating because we'll wait to hear that crisp voice that we hear every day of the week. And it is not that, it's a sense of a voice, a sense of a word. So you're kind of sensing all the things that you physically do whilst in the physical body. you're not physically doing as a medium, you are sensing all those different things. So you sense, obviously, emotion, but you will sense a sound, you will sense a voice, you will sense a personality, and you also sense, if you like, a vision of how somebody was or how they appeared in the physical body. So it's interesting because many mediums will take on a personality of a soul, of a spirit. Without even knowing it sometimes, they will say things in exactly the same way as that person would have said it whilst in the physical body. So they'll make a statement, word for word, how somebody would have said it whilst in the physical body. And many times, many times you get that actually said to you, well, that's exactly how they said that. That sounds like how they would have said it. And that's exactly what they said, word for word. So we are sensing, we are blending energies. So all the physical side of things needs to be pushed to one side and forgotten about. And we need to try and get a grasp of exactly what it is we are doing. So we are blending energies, simple as that. The energy that leaves the body when we pass is the energy that we are trying to connect with. So, we get many mediums who will say this, they stood by me, or they stood behind me, they stood behind you. That is a sense. That's not real, if you like. I'll probably get my head ripped off of this, but never mind. So you are not physically seeing that energy, that soul, that mum, that dad, that brother, that sister stood behind a sitter. You are sensing that that energy is there behind the sitter, and you are sensing a kind of vision. You are sensing that in your mind's eye. So you are sensing that they are stood there, but that energy is there, but they are not stood there in a body. Their energy is behind your sitter. And the only way that maybe we can understand it sometimes whilst in the physical body, the only way we can truly understand it is for that energy, that spirit, to put that picture in our mind so that we can describe them, so that we can give an accurate description of how they looked. And sometimes it's not how they looked when they passed, but maybe how they looked at their very best. And sometimes this is deliberate to put the sitter's mind at rest. Because we don't want to give a description of somebody who is very ill. We don't want to do that. We want to put the pictures in the mind of the sitter of how they looked when they was well. And that's exactly how the spirit energy would want their loved one to remember them. So they will give us an image of how they looked before they was ill. And it creates a nice, positive and happy atmosphere for us to work in. Negativity we don't want whilst we're giving messages. Obviously, sometimes it can't be helped. There may be a description of the passing, but as mediums, we're responsible for how we put that across, how we tell somebody that. So sometimes we see and hear things that are difficult to repeat, but we've just got to use our common sense, our logic, and put it in a gentle way, not to obviously upset your sitter. So when we pass, obviously, like I said, we become part of that source of everything that we now see around us. And beyond what we see, we are a part of all the energy that flows through everything. We've become part of it. But, like I said, we keep that individuality. And that, as mediums, is what we connect to. So the blending of our energy, the blending of spirit energy, the blending of those two energies is where the communication begins. We will start to sense how they looked. We will sense what they are saying. We will sense a personality. It is all energy that we are sensing, the blending of their energy with ours. So we then, in our mind's eye, start to pick up all those different aspects of that person, how they was whilst in the body. So we really do early on need to forget all about, well, he's stood next to me, she's stood behind you, she's on the platform here, oh, I've got loads of them all stood around. That's not true. It's not true. It is a kind of description, a descriptive way, if you like, of saying that these energies are here, they are by my side, I sense those energies there, they're stood in a suit, if you like, very, very well-dressed gentleman, but we need to make sure that the people who we are reading for understand, because I think sometimes it can be a bit scary to say they stood behind you, and I think you can see the unease sometimes in a sitter's face. But that energy is very, very close to them. That energy is behind them, it is with you, it is with them, and you can sense sometimes a touch. And that is that energy blending next to you as the energy draws close. They do not physically touch you. So sometimes things can be a little misleading, I think, how sometimes some mediums put that message across. So, there's a vast difference between physically stood there and spiritually stood there, if you like. The energy that they come in, if you like, is simply that, I guess, energy. An energy of love, an energy of warmth, an energy of light. No, they're not stood there in a posh suit, because that just doesn't happen. And, people will argue, say, well, why, when I've seen spirit in a haunted house, then can I physically see that spirit? And as in another video that I made, there's a vast difference between spirit and a ghost. So you can always say, well, the reason you see that is because you're seeing a kind of replay of energy. It's not a real spirit, if you like. It is in fact a ghost that you see. It's a simple replay of energy. So that's it for now. I hope it's not too confusing. Please ask me any questions if you like. And I will get back to you. Please like and please subscribe. It just helps me a little bit and helps me just carry on, I guess. So all the best. Have a great evening. Bye for now.